Stairs. I understand. And we have decided to continue supporting the outlaw scientist, Dr. Phineas Wells. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Take care. Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Don't know how you managed to get Zora and Sanjar in the same room. So, we're just gonna march straight into Byzantium and acquire some rare chemicals right under the board's nose? I sure hope you negotiated for a raise with this Phineas guy. Uh-huh. Sure. Everybody's got an angle. I'm just wondering what yours is. That's one way of looking at it. Another is that he pulled you out of hibernation without your say-so and got you to do his dirty work. Besides, none of this is your mess, so why go dirtying your hands with it? Hate to say it, but the right thing rarely pays well. The board's put a bounty on his head, and they've got more than enough bits to pay it. I've got no love for the corporations, but they know how to take care of their people. The ones at the top, anyway. Exactly. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, so I probably don't need to tell you this, but look out for yourself. No one else out here will. Hey, don't get any ideas. I'm just making sure you last long enough to pay me at the end of this. Anything else? Things on Monarch have really cooled off. I didn't think MSI and the Iconoclast would ever talk. Outside of shouting four-letter words, I mean. Sure, and fish sticks are really made from Saltuna. Look, I won't knock the work you did. I'm sure they'll have a good cry, look through old photographs, share a pint of premium double chocolate cacao gelato. But sooner or later, things will go back to the way they were. People don't change. Not really. In my experience, it's spread real thin. Anyway, I'd hate to see you get broken up if this thing between them doesn't last. Hey, let's not make this out to be more than it is. Though, come to think of it, this whole episode reminds me of something I've been meaning to do. I haven't actually talked to my folks in a while. Shocking, right? Anyway, it's probably about time I paid them a visit. Given the dangerous life I lead, they've got to be worried sick. Whoa, let's calm down. I'm not asking for a favor or anything. I'm just suggesting we stop by. When we're in the neighborhood. See, I'm originally from Byzantium, born and raised. I know that probably comes as a big surprise. This is why I have to see them. They'll hardly recognize me. Oh, well, I was thinking you'd come too? Because it would be fun? Well, they know me as Marilyn the Surgeon. They don't know Ellie the Pirate Sawbones. But you're authentic rabble. True riffraff. When they see you, they'll get it. Come on, I didn't leave home and become a pirate because I enjoy making responsible decisions. Of course not. I mean, not unless you want to bring a feral canid or a mantis on a leash. That'd make a real impression. Great. And when we get there, draw out your rough edges a bit. If you've got an outfit you haven't washed in a while, maybe one with some bloodstains, wear that one. You're the boss. Anything else? Something about this Harlow guy isn't on the up and up.
You want to expand on that?
Come on, Felix. He's obviously up to something. Glad it's not just me. The way Harlow is leaning on his revolutionary bona fides, not to mention his knowing Felix back in the day, something about it feels off.
Clyde's a decent fellow. I mean, it's not like I'd take up with some double-dealing crook, right?
Good. That makes two of us.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Fudge. A soft, sour candy swirl. Purple berry flavored snacks.
This is Halcyon.
You mind trying to have a moment here? Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know where he is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You're telling me you're on a first-name basis with Ms. Tennyson? Yeah, the promenade doesn't feel like I'm walking the surface of Tartarus. So that was you, huh? Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with him. That's as much as I know. Please, just make it quick. That's right. Our marriage contract expired some months ago. And seeing how he's technically an outlaw, I wouldn't renew even if I wanted to. Precious little. He and Rufus worked together on the ground. A few years later, Rufus gets a message from an old friend. Something about starting a revolution, something about getting rich. Abandoned his work and ran off that very day.
He must have been recruiting.
Word of advice, kid? Anybody carrying on about a revolution just wants to sell you. I don't know Harlow. Never so much as bandied a word with the fellow. You're better off having this Only that Rufus is in a bad way. He came to see me a little ways back. Said he had to go into hiding. He was here to collect his personals, complain about Harlow to me, and say goodbye. In that order. No, and he was particular about that. Said I was better off not getting entangled in his mess. Little late for that, says I. Appreciate it.
Captain, if you're looking for crew members Ellie or Felix, they're sharing a drink upstairs. We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Nice one. Don't mess with the best.
I'd wager this is... Rebecca! Anders! Come on out! Here they go!
All day.
Down they go!
Let's make this quick.
Hey, take a gander. The door's busted. Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry-rig these old locks so as they don't open it. But we've only ever done that if we're in a real bind. Oh no. Oh no. What did you do?
Oh, hell. I'm sorry, Nyoka.
They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you! The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses! Ugh. Or to leave your medallions to rot with you, but Clara would want to be buried with her sister. At least I know. Ought to have learned by now that getting one's hopes up tends to open them to being dashed. I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. I think I'm glad. If she were still alive now, it'd break her to know the truth. Yeah, maybe. I'm used to disappointment. She was still so naive as to let it hurt her every time it happened. Only thing left is to take these medallions home. Which means figuring out how to bait the Mana Queen out of our old bait. The most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick. That'd be boring. I've never had the pleasure of hunting.
Here they come!
Everyone all right?
Heads up!
I don't know who you are or why you're prowling around here, but I'm one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? He sent you after me. Yeah, of course he did. Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. Harlow wants me dead, and I've got no intention of dying. How do I know that I can trust you? Yeah, guess that's a fair point. Listen, I don't know what lies Harlow's dripped down your ear, but you'd be a fool to trust him. I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. The board's got him in their pocket, been paying him off for years. All that palaver about revolutions? It's a lie.
You're a real piece of work, Trask. Not just a turncoat, but a liar, too.
Go piss up a rope, kid. I've got nothing to prove to you. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another board asset. A two-bit mercenary wearing a dissident's clothes. Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon willing to take Harlow to task. Huh. You ain't like other board agents I heard about. You got a functioning spine. You want to confront Harlow yourself? Be my guest. I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in a utility corridor. I stashed my evidence in that vent. Board-sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships the board wanted destroyed, capturing anybody the board wanted captured. If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. Gather up the captives on his own ship, vanish for a couple of days. Only that's not what happened. Harlow's been selling his captives off to the board. I don't know where they ended up. Re-education, Tartarus, maybe worse. Because he's for sale. Anything the board can buy, the board will buy, and that includes loyalty. With Harlow in their pocket, take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? May as well. Here, take the ring.
Clyde Harlow, agent of the board. Then again, Trask knew he was a dead man. Could have been trying to shift the blame. I can't imagine Clyde working. Trask said he stashed the evidence in a vent back at the base.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
I definitely won that round. That's because I'm usually right.
Next time I work the scorecard.
That machine stole my bits. Why do we even have one of these?
We need to have a word with Clyde. Looks like Trask was telling the truth. It's all there. Receipts for services rendered, payments, records, ship manifest. Clyde was a pirate for hire, and the board was paying him off. In typical board fashion, they left a trail of receipts behind. Ain't that just ironic? That ain't the point, boss. I feel like Clyde's been taking us for a ride. Clyde owes me.
What's the word? So it is. Thus ends Rufus Trask. Once a sense... I hope you never have to discover what it is like, Captain. The relief one feels when a...
Trask had some things to say about you. And I've got my own misgivings.
That's a damning accusation. Am I right to presume you have some evidence on hand? Those papers don't prove a thing. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying to undermine everything I stand for. You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face. How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor, and I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked...
Clyde, look me in the...
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as...
That's the last of him! This is definitely not how I imagined it'd end. The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? I don't know. I don't know what to think. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent to me. Yeah, he did. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna get over that. I hope so. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna be mulling over this whole mess for a couple of days. Part of me wishes we'd put Trask in the ground. But, you know, I think... Thanks for your time, Bob. Clyde's got himself a cozy little outfit, huh?
I'm jealous.
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen. Destination reached. Scylla.
Again. Here we go. I can't. Someone else will clean this up, right?
That queen ain't gonna go down easy. I can't wait. What's up? Outstanding. These ought to be enough. Let's get back to Monarch. There's an old password to the door. Is Charon. Fucking right we are.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on...